Intuitive, back with day 10 and 11, February 10th and 11th of 14 days of 222 Energies Love readings. Okay, this message is going to be a little bit unique, a little bit tailored to the topic, which is self love. It's the type of love or the journey of love that we are discussing today. And it's really coming up from a point of view of my own personal experience um, of really learning what self love looks like for me, but also trusting that process, trusting that I know what is best for me, and also actively practicing the things that I have learned are best for me. So I'm going to give you like a real time example. So tonight's topic was supposed to be different. It was supposed to be a little bit more in depth, a little bit more emotionally and spiritually vulnerable, but I simply, I don't even want to say I didn't have the capacity to give it, but because my own, I'll say cup was low, my own energy level was low, my pain level is kind of high today. I chose to conserve the energy that I have and preserve the capacity that I have for myself. And it's so interesting that as I even say that, like, I'm kind of hearing in my head, like, how selfish that sounds, but that's the fucking point. That's the fucking point. In 2026, the energies that we in, particularly to feminine energies, particularly to women, we are in the era of the rise um of the woman being honored as she should, respected as she should, cared for as she should. I'm hearing the woman and the girl, and ultimately that's for the benefit of everyone, because when the womb energy is respected and cared for and revered and adorned and adored, everyone wins. It's never a one-sided um it's never a one-sided I guess win or um let's see, how do you say it, reward. It always lends to a communal, a family, a national, a universal, a international, a galactic experience of elevation when a woman is honored. So going back to what I was saying, we're in an era where particularly girls and women are remembering spiritually through space and time who they are in individual experience and through lifetimes, and collectively w- what we are worth. And that is also happening with people as individuals, no matter what their sex, race, creed, is as well. So, with that being said, choosing, as the title says, choosing yourself is actually simple. It's actually very, very simple, because your gut and your first mind, that gut feeling, that turning over in your stomach, those first thoughts that rush to your mind when, hypothetically someone asks you to do something and you get that instantaneous an overwhelming yes or hell no. And then you make a decision opposing that, and then you're fighting uphill and imposing that spiritual intuition from the inside out. And then after that, you're left fighting uphill to essentially defend the decision that you made to your inner self, because your inner self told you one thing and then you did something else. So now you're the defendant. Now you're the defendant, and you're essentially presenting a case to show your innocence, right? Because yes, it says quote unquote in the court of law is innocent to proven guilty, but we all know it's quite the opposite. So with your spiritual intuition essentially being the plaintiff, it's like, okay, have I have already told you what to do, and you decided that you wanted to do something else. So now you gonna have to show me why this shit makes sense. And the thing about it is, when it boils down to it, it's never gonna make sense. Choosing anything other than yourself is never gonna make sense. It's never gonna feel, for whatever reason I'm hearing feel sense, it's never going to feel like it makes sense either. It's never going to feel right. It's never going to settle with you. It's never going to feel aligned, because you are quite literally starting a war within yourself. You're picking a fight with yourself. And circling back around to saying that the last couple of days, so the 10th and the 11th day of the 14 days of 222 energies love readings were supposed to be about another topic of love, which I had mentioned before would require a more heightened or deepened sense of me connecting spiritually with my intuition in order to deliver the message with like integrity and sensitivity. And I simply just chose myself in the last couple of days to allow my mind and my spirit to rest. And today, when it was getting close to time for me to deliver this message to you all, I felt this extreme sense of dread. And then I had to stop myself and say, okay, why would you be delivering intuitive messages to your sensual community that you care deeply about? You care deeply about how the message lands, that the message lands as it's meant to land spiritually and intuitively. Why would you deliver anything to your sensual community with dread? Why not choose to preserve your own peace by continuing to rest, because that's what your body's telling you to do, and show up in the capacity that you literally have? Why would you do anything different than that? Why would you start this war within yourself and then wonder how come the battle is so hard? You know what I'm saying? It's like, it wasn't for a lack of desire for showing up for myself and you all today. It was literally just lack of capacity to show up in the way that I had planned. And I'm hearing Spirit say right now, um, don't let your plans have you fucked up, because your plans, I'm hearing in the physical world, can very much oppose my plans. This is Spirit talking in the spiritual world. It's like, you know how people say, if you want to make God laugh, make a plan. And being prepared and having ambition and manifesting and drawing out the blueprint of your own destiny is beautiful. Like, that's, I dare say, necessary. You gotta, you know what I'm saying, know what punches it is that you want to roll with in life. But being so attached to that it becomes a louder voice than your inner knowing is always going to be a problem. That's always going to present a challenge and a battle within oneself. Um, so that's why I chose. I said, you know what? I want to change this message to what I'm actually experiencing in real time. And I want to talk just from an intuitive point of intuitive conversation about making this choice. And I went for a dark live because I just being on camera does tap into your energetic body and your spiritual body, and it can drain you to a certain point. And of course, you are concerned about like how you look and how you're presenting yourself. And I just chose not to share that part of myself today so that I could, you know, show up at all. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's either I'm hearing right now it would have been all of nothing. Either I wouldn't have done this at all, or I would have to do it in the way that serves me. And the fact that we battle with that within ourselves is really crazy, because it's like, why would doing anything except for what serves you, ever be a thing? Now I do understand, like, you have responsibilities, you have children, ambitions and stuff like that. You're going to always be doing something that you're not necessarily excited about, or you don't necessarily want to do, or that discipline requires, even when there is not really a lot of immediate gratification or instantaneous gratification attached to it. That's completely understandable. Okay, of course that's gonna happen. Adulthood is just not fucking fun all the time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about literally those moments when we completely step out of alignment with what our body, mind, soul, and spirit, our whole being is telling us that we need. And then we be like, why do I feel so fucked up? Like, why is my energy off? Like, why is my body sick? And like, I know that it sounds like I'm saying this sarcastically, but it's like that's really the conversation we have. But it's because we've been socialized to ignore those cues. We've been socialized to be out of sync with nature. You know what I'm saying? We've been socialized to frame intuitive understanding as a nagging, or feeling crazy, or just a hunch and those type of things. And the thing about it is, you're in constant conversation with yourself, um your inner voice, which means you're in constant conversation with the spirit that you are outside of your human body, which means that you're in constant conversation with your lower present and higher self, which means you're in constant conversation with God, and however you see or frame that, which means you're in constant conversation with the universe, which means you're in constant conversation with your spirit team. Like, you are in constant conversation. Now what you choose to share in that conversation is your business and your manifestation, based on how you have that conversation. If your self is telling you, for example, rest, and then your conversation or your response back to that is, I'm not going to, don't you think that's going to begin to escalate the conversation between you and yourself, where yourself is like, oh, you not, huh? I got something for that ass. And you be like, oh, you got something for that ass? I ain't worried about you. I'm gonna keep going anyway. And then yourself is like, oh, word. You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, every single motherfucking time, your inner self is gonna win that battle. You gonna get your ass kicked every time. So ain't no sense you even getting out there in that water, because I promise you, you could be an MMA fighter, a world class boxer, a jiu-jitsu master. You can have a motherfucking Chuck Norris roundhouse kick, bitch, and I promise you, your inner self gonna beat your ass every time. So you might as well learn to work with it. You might as well learn to collaborate. Because baby, the minute that you make a lifetime practice or a regular practice of going against that, your inner knowing, your inner self, your intuition, you gonna have a well whooped ass on a regular basis. A hard head gonna make a soft ass. You gonna quickly learn that fat meat is greasy. It's very much gonna give. If you like getting your ass kicked, I love it. You figured it me. So I say all that to say, back to the title. Choosing yourself is simple. Simply, it's actually simple. Simply decide to choose yourself. Trust your intuition in choosing yourself, and act accordingly. Be an active participant in your own self advocacy. Okay? So, that is the word that I have for you all this evening. My active participation in my self advocacy is to get the rest that I need. So, I am so grateful to have been able to interact with you all this evening. And I'm going to go do that. Ariam Monet, the sensual intuitive. I affirm that this message lands with who it should, exactly how it should, exactly when it should. I have a reading special going on right now that's pinned in flyer form to all of my platforms, as well as I will attach a link to this reading where you can check out the special on my Gumroad platform. Make the decision to choose yourself, because even if you don't, yourself will choose you, but it's going to be a longer, harder road. This is not the time to take the road less traveled by. Take the motherfucker that's already paved. Listen to the intuition that you were already gave. And in quote unquote proper English, already given. I love you. Te amo. Adios.